What's up, everyone? This is Nate, and I am back with another director top 5. Now, I took a little break from doing these videos for October, doing 31 Days of Horror, but we are back with the director top 5s, and I am starting off relaunching this with a director that a lot of people actually requested for me to do, and so I'm going to go ahead and give you my top 5 from Tim Burton. Now, again, this is not me saying these are necessarily his 5 best films. To me, they are, and they're the ones that I enjoy the most. So this is a ranking, my personal ranking of my 5 favorite Tim Burton films. Before I get into them, please, if you would consider subscribing to the channel, just hit that subscribe button, the bell icon, that we get notified every time we drop new videos. Give me a thumbs up down below if you like Tim Burton films. And then in the comments, let me know your top 5. I'm sure it's going to be different than my top 5. And hopefully everyone's is different. So here we go. Number 5 for me is a little movie called Sleepy Hollow. So this is a pretty cool edition, this steelbook, and then it has like the actual story in it. But anyway, A Sleepy Hollow is one of those movies that I've always liked. I love the atmosphere in it. I like the cast. Johnny Depp is really good in it. Christina Ricci, Christopher Walken looks terrifying in there. I love the atmosphere though. That gothic look to it, the fog. I think he absolutely nails it. I think he's the perfect director to make that movie when he made that movie. And I really enjoy it. I think it's a very entertaining movie. Good gore in it too. A lot of blood, which is always fun. So yeah, a good time for me is Sleepy Hollow. Number 4, here's where we're going to get maybe controversial right off the bat. But number 4 for me is Batman, the original Batman, 1989. I really enjoy this movie. I think Michael Keaton is really good as Bruce Wayne and Batman. He's the one I grew up with most when I was a kid. Obviously, he was in the first few Batman films. I do like it. Jack Nicholson is amazing as the Joker. And I do think Tim Burton was actually a good choice to direct that film. The way he made Gotham look really fits his aesthetic. And yeah, I think you have a great villain, a great hero. That was a kind of the movie that launched the big superhero movie. Obviously you had Superman before that, but this was the one that made it a little bit more gritty, realistic, and was a big, huge hit. So Batman is my number 4. Number 3 for me is going to be Beetlejuice. So Beetlejuice is one of those movies. I wouldn't say I grew up watching this movie a lot when I was a kid. The thing with Beetlejuice that I watched most when I was a kid was the cartoon. They had a Beetlejuice cartoon that I used to watch. I saw the movie when I was a little bit older. I thought it was great. I mean, again, another Michael Keaton movie. Tim Burton and Michael Keaton, a great working relationship. They've done a number of movies together, similar to him and Johnny Depp. And I just think that movie's tons of fun. It's hilarious. It's weird. It's super weird, but it works. Like, he made it work. It's super entertaining. And of course, Winona Ryder in there as well, and Catherine O'Hara, and just a really fun cast. A weird mix of comedy and like horror elements, although it's not scary at all, but definitely a fun movie. So Beetlejuice is going to be my number 3. All right, now here's why I didn't have Batman at number 2, because I actually like Batman Returns better. That's my number 2. I watched this one a lot more when I was younger than the first Batman. So it's a lot of it nostalgia. Whenever you're making a top 5 favorite or a top favorite list, it's going to come in, if you saw the movie way more when you were younger, and it just kind of carries on into adulthood. I do think Batman Returns is, I don't know if it's better than the original, but I like it more. I love Danny DeVito as Penguin. I love Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. Michael Keaton's back. This one's very dark. And then it's set at Christmas, which I like too. Like, I like to watch it at Christmas time. I think it's a fun movie to watch at Christmas. Yeah, I think it's just darker. It is, like, the first movie's dark, and this one is darker somehow. For me, it's always the Batman movie that I prefer over the original one. And my number 1, and this will probably always be my number 1. At this point, I don't think Tim Burton will ever make a movie that I like better than this. And I will always like this better than all his older movies. And that's going to be Edward Scissorhands. I absolutely love this movie. And the funny thing is, when I was younger, I was actually scared of this movie. The early part when the mom goes to the house and he's like in the corner standing, and then she's like telling him to come out, and I couldn't watch that scene until I was like 8 years old. We'd put it on when I was little, and I would cover my eyes, bury my head in my mom's shoulder. Couldn't look, scared. Once I finally was a little older and I watched it, I fell in love with this movie. I love Johnny Depp's performance in this is so good. Quiet, a lot of just facial eyes, really a lot in the eyes. Winona Ryder is very good in it as well. So yeah, it's a great love story. It's a weird, it is definitely a weird, quirky Tim Burton movie. It has all these tropes and the gothic look and everything, but man, and the music, Danny Elfman score. Danny Elfman did the score for probably all of these movies, but this one is very memorable. So there are my top 5 Tim Burton films. That's going to be Sleepy Hollow, Batman, Beetlejuice, Batman Returns, and Edward Scissorhands. I know a lot of people probably have other ones higher. Corpse Bride, I know, is very popular. Mars Attacks, even Ed Wood. But for me, these are my favorite Tim Burton films. So please, again, let me know in the comments down below what your favorite Tim Burton films are. And I will be back with another Director Top 5 next week, where I'll be going over my 5 favorite Tony Scott films. Until then, take it easy.